What's going on, guys? We're back here at the Conquer Athlete Podcast. We got Tyler back on the show with us.
Maybe for the last time after that.
You know, his dynamic just fit us so well. My headphones aren't working. I feel naked right now in this podcast. I feel weird. I feel weird without my headphones. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Let's be completely honest. Jay got a new haircut. He didn't want to put headphones on to mess up his new flow. Let's be dead ass honest.
I had this haircut last week too. With the headphones.
Yeah, well, you figured it out. You were like, damn, I look good. I don't want to mess that shit up with headphones. Josh was like, damn, you better come home.
I appreciate you saying I look good. It means a lot to me.
You look young, dude. Yes, you look young. You look good.
Thanks, man. I haven't fucking had... My sleep score in the past week has been about a 50 every night. Yep. Like I did something to my left shoulder and I'm just up all night with my left shoulder and I'm feeling it. The sleep, the poor sleep is really, really getting me.
Yeah, my HRV is fucking tanked from being sick for 2 weeks. It's so bad.
Yeah.
What do you track it with?
I use my Garmin Fenix 8.
You just leave it on?
I leave it on.
Dude, that's I got mine. I don't even know what it is, but it's the Garmin something.
We have sexy time. I take it off so I don't scratch.
Dude, you don't want those. Yeah, you don't want those.
Wait,
that's not where I thought you were
going
with that.
So you don't scratch it?
What are you doing? I was going with that.
Like
yeah, you said it.
Hey, listen, sometimes scratches are good, but you don't want to like be scratched with a watch.
Yeah, you could also, exactly.
You need to scratch to be intentional.
Jason Leydon, rabid animal in the bedroom.
Garmin tells him to sit down and take a rest.
Like my strain is out of control from it too.
Just program rest intervals.
You know what? I'm going to open this up with a rant. I don't know how much valuable information we're going to give today because I feel like we're in a weird mood. However, I'm going to start with this rant, guys, and here it goes. I have actually 2 rants I want to go on. Number 1, if you are a new coach or you're an existing coach or you just got out of college and you're looking for a job or you're looking for a job in any field, before you interview, research who you are interviewing with, what the company or gym is, and have an understanding of what you're coming into. Guys, I'm looking for a new coach. So anybody out there, and I have crazy opportunities for growth here, meaning I'm in the talks with 2 local high schools, and they're going to probably hire us as a head strength and conditioning coach to run the strength and conditioning at their high schools, as well as a performance U facility down in like Greenwich area. If you guys don't know about Greenwich, Greenwich is so rich that they actually tried to make themselves their own nation apart from the US so people wouldn't come into Greenwich. Like people who live in Greenwich have straight up like fuck you money. It's like, okay, you're investing something, here's $2 million cash. Like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like crazy stupid. I don't even know this crazy stupid money. They have crazy stupid money. Anyways, there's a soccer, and they want me to build a gym down there inside one of their facilities. I had 4 interviews. Not one person knew anything about my gym or me. And I'm not saying like, hey, you should know about me at the gym, but okay, you're a CrossFit facility. You also do Conquer Athlete, and this is how classes are run. Like 0 research. And I was like, so you don't know anything about like our gym? And they're like, no. I was like, listen, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I was like, but I'm just not going to move forward with you because this just shows me like you're not prepared at all. And some of these people are super qualified. I'm like, you couldn't even take 5 minutes to go on the website, Instagram, anything, right? It drives me crazy that happened. Like one person was like, oh, so you guys like have barbells and stuff in your gym? I'm like,
yep, we use them every now and then.
Yeah, we sometimes have
get on them
in the gym. Yeah, insane.
It's lazy. It's entitled. And it's these younger people. You said they were super qualified. They may not have been younger people.
Some are younger, some are older. Like, and that's not, I like older people too. I'm like older people. I'm like, how do you not?
How'd you get this far in life? Yeah, I'm shocked at that. We a lot of in the gym. We got a lot of younger folks, and some of the things that I'll like talk to them about like little things like that. And that case is like a professionalism thing, and just being prepared and being thorough with what you're doing. I'm kind of shocked sometimes to hear some of the stories. I'm like, that's what the perfect example. You went in there to meet with Jason. And again, that takes 5 minutes to even on like a very easy level, like Instagram. Just go quick on like for 2 minutes. I can at least have some talking points.
with how many medians, how many channels are out there? Yeah, okay, here's my second one in the same category. This other person emailed me, qualified, and so I said, hey, it was on Indeed. I go, shoot me an email, and with your information, I'll set up a call. Now I know I can get their email and phone right there on Indeed. The purpose of me saying that is, can you just follow a simple direction and have some sort of follow through, right? So they sent me an email, and the email was stated like this. It said, so we don't waste each other's time. Can you tell me the exact pay so I don't get lowballed? Like not thank you. So not even like a, hey,
right off the bat.
I brought this to Ryan, and I was like, are you serious with this question? Like, this is such an unprofessional format. I'm like, not
Dude,
even like,
right
hey,
off
Jay,
the
what's going
bat.
on? Appreciate this. Like, so I sent them an email back, and I was like, hello, so-and-so. I forgot his kid's name. I was going to throw his name out there too, because I don't like this person.
What he's not saying, it was
Matthew,
me.
It was Matthew Anthony of West Haven, Connecticut, right?
And Matthew,
I go, hey, your email is pretty unprofessional. I'm just not going to move forward with you. I appreciate you taking the time to send this to me. Left at that. This dude snips back at me. He goes, well, let me give you some advice too. Number one, you're lazy because the information was there. And he says, he put like other like snippet, like another dig at me, right? I go, okay, thank you for your feedback. I appreciate it. Have a nice day. I was going to leave it at that, right? Done, over. I was taking a high road. He comes back after I laid a good response. He goes, leadership isn't for everybody. I was like, so now I'm literally laughing, right? I'm like, oh my God, this guy, he's like that person, right? And I was like, listen, Matt, I've been in this industry for a long time. My average trainer is 5+ years. I've owned a gym for 20 years and online business for 10 years, both of which are extremely successful. I go, I'm pretty good at sniffing out people who are below average, as well as people who aren't good and people who are bad employees. I go, it seems like I sniffed out pretty well here. Have a nice day. So anybody keeps coming back, and he has to be able to get the last word in, right? I was like, okay. I go, it seems to me like you're the person who has to get the last word in. I was like, because you're just super insecure and you probably have nothing else going for you. So, okay, get your last word in, buddy. So then I said to myself, because now I'm trying to train, right? And I go, okay, no matter what happens, no matter what he responds,
you're not responding.
Respond. Like, that's
No
it.
way.
It's over.
Right.
It's over, right? I want to swear, but my wife said I got to stop swearing so much. I go,
cold.
This he responds with something stupid about like projection and ego. And I'm like, are you not reading any of my messages or your messages? And he goes, if you don't stop, I'm going to put you on blast. And I was like, put me on blast. Like, I'm going to reach to this computer and smash your fucking face in, right? Put me on blast. I'm like, put me on. Oh my God. I was like, nope. And I got so mad because I had to call Joss, and I was like, he's sitting back thinking he got the upper hand because he says he's going to put me on blast, and I stopped. And in my head, I said I could not respond with the next email, right? And I was so upset that I didn't respond.
Did you respond?
No, because I said I wasn't going to. No matter what happened, I said, no matter what happens, I'm not going to respond. And he did that. And I was like, ah. But I feel like I'll see him at some point. I hope I see him at like a jiu-jitsu or boxing gym, and I'm just going to smash the fuck out of him.
Take care of him. I bet you don't. So I don't think he hangs out.
What's his name? Matthew Anthony?
He's not even on Instagram. I couldn't find him on Instagram or Facebook. Because there's another dude
major red flag.
Matt Ramos, who owns a rack. And I like him a lot. He's a smart dude. He's a great coach. So they do send me the email. Like, this can't be Matt. Matt owns the rack, and Matt is a very successful trainer. I'm like, why would he be? So I looked, I go, oh, it's not. Because his email said Matt Ramos, but then it's like Matthew Anthony. And I'm like, oh, it's not. I'm like, it's not this guy. It's some other dude. So I tried looking him up, and I couldn't find him. He's not on Instagram, not on Facebook.
So what's he going to do? Is he going to put out like a news mailer to put you on blast?
On blast.
I'm like, put me on blast. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're everything that's wrong. I'm like, you're the one who kept pushing this, kept trying to say the extra thing.
And that's just ego too.
I'm like, you know what? I'm like, whatever. Anyways, those are my events. I'm sure all of Tyler's listeners are like, what are we doing with this podcast today? Guys,
all my listeners,
we don't know we're doing this podcast today.
We're just happy to be here, boys.
And girls.
Yeah,
and girls.
What's going on at 11:24?
When does this come out? I'm kidding. A lot of good stuff, man. We got good momentum. Since the games, I've gotten a little more involved than I was. Callie has done this thing for 7 years, and she actually is moving on and taking a full-time position with a design firm, and that she's wanted to get into, like, she just loves interior work and interior design or whatever. But she's done this. She's always kind of been tied down to this, nailed down to this. So anyway, she got offered a really good opportunity with actually a very close friend of ours. Owns a shop. So she's taking that position. I said, sweetheart, if you go do this, she was kind of stressing about it. And she's the stressor of the family. I'm just as like easy, laid back as I could be about stuff. And it'll just all work out how it's supposed to, just like you and Matt Ramos. It'll work out. And anyway, so she's like, I said, babe, go do this. If in 3 or 6 months, you and our friend's name is Raz. I said, if this doesn't work out, like, it'll be great. And you can come back, and I'm sure I can find a place for you back here. I'll find a spot for you. And so anyway, I said that to say she starts that on December 1st. And
Nice.
so she texted the coaches the other day and kind of let them know what's going on. Cause this place has been like 100% her will be 7 years in December. And in August, after the games, I started getting more involved. I'm here, I'm around, I built a little office upstairs. And so I've just been a little more involved, but now fixing. So I texted the coaches back and I was like, I'm the captain now. And I was like, I don't know if that helps or hurts your wanting to be here or be a part of this, but we're going to make some changes around here. I really have no idea what's going to happen.
Have you ever seen Captain Phillips, the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I got that from.
That is the only thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Such
That
a
is
good
great.
reference.
I said, I'm the captain now. So there's some changes going on. We're going to make some, I say that we're just going to try to put a little energy into it. This place. I mean, Jay, you know this, and Ryan, you've all affiliate too. It takes so much juice to just like every day show up and bring. I tell Callie, like, we don't get to have bad days, right? You're in the customer service business. And so like every single day you show up, I don't care what's going on in your life. These people pay a lot of money to be here. And if there's 10 people, 20 people in class, whatever it is, like, you got to be ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, she's done it now for, how long have you owned your affiliate for, Jay?
20.
20 years. And I'll say this too. She hasn't been great about like delegating. So she carries a lot of that herself. And it's just too much. Like, you can't do all the things she's doing admin behind the scenes and then putting up with me and all my crap and the kids and then still have to show up every day. And so she's just looking for something new, which is great.
I've been doing it
for her.
20 years. And I said this the other day, like last week, I was like, I feel like for the past 4 months, like someone dropped me in the middle of the ocean with weights to my ankles. And I'm just like trying to fucking keep my head above water so I don't drown to death, And I'm like, I've been feeling that every single day. And I'm like, sometimes I'm like, this is crazy.
How often do you coach in the affiliate?
So I do a lot of PTs, and I really, I love training like the high school kids and the sport development stuff. I mean, I probably
like coaching the 12 o'clock class. You're not.
I
out there on the
only do
floor,
like one class a week,
Got it.
but I'll do 3 to 4 like sport development classes, and then I have like 5 or 6, sometimes 7 PT clients on top
Dude,
of
that's
it.
still that's a long day. It's a grind. Yeah.
It's a grind every fucking day. Yeah. Oh my God. Something else, guys. That has nothing to do. This had to do with my Instagram post today. So did you guys see my Instagram post today about your individual design coach sucks?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So the crazy
Tyler liked it. What a fucking dick.
I'm supporting my friend, of course.
So the crazy
but also
thing is that all those came from a call that I had with an athlete yesterday about 2 calls I had. One about their current coaching situation. One girl is with a very prominent coach, a very prominent program, and routinely, like, never gets her programming, and is always like, hey, what's my programming for today? And then, he'll send it over. And I'm just dumbfounded with how often that happens, and with like people being on. So if you're an individual design coach out there, just do what you say you're going to do. Like, don't give our shit a bad rap by sucking at your job. Plan, program, deliver it, give feedback, give the video review, create a connection, conversate, strategize, debrief. Be a coach.
So how much of that do you think gets into, because I've seen this on the people that I train with at the gym are younger, kind of getting into the competitive like competing inside of it. They're not established, been around for a long time. And I get a lot of that from them. I was talking to them and I'm like, well, what'd your coach say about how to break this up with this? How'd you perform? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Not a lot of feedback, not a lot of conversations. And then the more you peel back layers, I've found like, so a lot of these coaches, they got 30, 40, 50 athletes. And if you're not, depending on where you're at in the year, you may just not be priority, which some of that's like natural. Like Ryan doesn't have to focus a ton on me during the open because I'm going to get through the open to whatever my next phase is, right?
Yeah, but that's different though. He didn't need to focus on you because he knew he didn't need to focus on you. Like he's prepared
Correct.
you
Yes.
for that, right?
That's right.
Versus like coaches just being fucking lazy and not doing their job.
And then having 65, I've heard coaches having 60 plus athletes, 75 athletes, 100 athletes.
But they don't. They put them on templates. Like you're not doing individual design for 65 athletes. Like you're giving them all the same fucking thing and you might add different reps and sets or muscle up versus a chest to bar. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like copy paste. And it's like, so I'm sorry, what was your question though? Where are you going with it?
You just answered it, which is like that. There's when you get to that point, and again, it's a business at the end of the day. Like I get it, numbers equal more money and things like that, but it's just so hard to put in the level that only thing I've ever experienced in individual design is Ryan. So it's all I have as a reference point, and I just know like I don't call Ryan 3 times a week just to like chat about chest to bar pull-ups, but there have been times when if I run into a roadblock or a bottleneck or like something happens, we chat and we do deep dives. And a lot of them will be via text, right? We'll just back and forth and here's a paragraph of like my thoughts and then here's a paragraph of his response. And like, hopefully that doesn't take up too much of his time, but I know that he couldn't be doing that with 40 people. He did just 50 people. Now maybe each athlete, I guess, might be different and like they don't want that much feedback. They're not giving that much feedback and then that'd be on the athlete, I guess. But I don't know. I think the whole game, there's a lot of flaws in everything you just said about copy and paste stuff. You've seen that a ton. And then just not getting back to them and passing them off to somebody else. And,
yeah, it's just, I just think like a lot of these people aren't true professionals is what it comes down to, right? Just like any other profession. You're going to have that in anything you do. You're going to have people who deliver a great product and do what they say, and you have people that don't. And they're going to kind of like skate through and they don't have the proper habits or work ethics or strategize or even like just intelligence to structure things the way they should be structured from a programming standpoint, right? And unfortunately, these people get connected with large companies and they get the perception of being at a certain level, but they're not.
I agree with everything you just said. I don't think you can have this conversation without talking about the athletes. I think there's a lot of athletes that say they're about the game that aren't really about the game.
And what do you mean exactly by about the game?
They're like, oh, I want to be competitive. I want to be a games athlete. I want to, hit so-and-so benchmark, da-da-da-da-da. Like, I want to reach this level in the sport, that are unwilling to actually do the things that it's going to take to get to that level. Now, some athletes don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they have to do to get to that level. And that, I do think, is part of the responsibility of the coach to educate the athlete to be like, hey, realistically, this is what you need to be doing. This is where you need to be. This is the quote roadmap to get you from A to B to C to D. And this is why we're doing it this way. So I agree with you. I think there's a lot of lazy individual design remote coaches out there that jumped on the bandwagon when COVID hit and thought they could make a bunch of money. And I think a lot of them have kind of fallen out because they realize it is actually relatively labor intensive to do, but you still have bad eggs involved in it, right? The ones that are figured out how to scale it with templates and sell people on this idea of individual design. But I also think there's really good individual design coaches that I've seen get torn up because the athlete fucking sucked, frankly. And like, I don't mean suck like physically in their placing or anything like that, but it was an unwillingness to change. Like they hired somebody to manage them as an athlete and for whatever reason are unwilling to pull back their ego and maybe do things a little bit differently than what they have been doing to make progress. Nothing is more fucking crazy to me than hiring a coach and being like, I don't want to do that. I've been doing X, Y, and Z for so long, never achieving your goal, not achieving anything that you set out to do, and then pushing back on a coach being like, hey, we should do something a little bit different. Like, that is
I totally agree. I can't
peak
speak from y'all's side.
dumbass.
Dumbass. I think a lot of these athletes, they're talented in some way, right? They're super aerobic, they're super strong, they're skilled, they're all three, whatever. And they get by and they make, let's just call this season format. Like they make semifinals, they qualify for Wadapalooza, they do some really cool things based on like talent alone. And then you get them into like, oh, I'm really good at this. And then they never get to the next point. And then the coach jumping thing, that's like a major red flag to me if I was a coach. And you're like, yeah, well, where you been? Well, I've been with so-and-so 3 years in a row, we switched. It's like, well, something's not right. But yeah, these athletes that I've seen so many like really high level individuals and athletes. And then you talk to them and you're like, you just don't know what's going on. You just rely on the fact that you think you can hurt worse than everybody else, or that you're just going to out rep everybody and
100%.
dig in a little bit. And they don't have any like desire to get smarter. And the only way you do that is by asking the coach, the person that you're paying money to help you learn and grow in that way.
Yeah.
And you just can't. And then the other thing that pisses me off is athletes and coaches, which I don't know which onus is on more. It's probably on both, but we talked about this a little bit last week. Ryan's rarely given me, hey, I want you to go row at this pace in this workout. I want you to go hit this number of reps. Like there's been a few things where you feel like we're testing or whatever it is, but for the most part, you'll just give me a workout and say, hey, go do it. And that helps me grow in that way. So many of these athletes get dependent on, hey, the coach told me to row at a 151 pace on the rower, and they get in the workout and everybody's rowing 5 seconds faster. And the whole heat's you just got to go faster. You got to adapt on the fly, or we were supposed to go unbroken or break this up. And no, I got to go. You can't do that because I'm like, well, where's my coach? I got to go find out. Can we do this? Can we swap? That drives me nuts, dude. And so like we'd be at the game. That's a good example. We're at the games. And Ryan, I'm talking to Ryan, who's back in the back. And maybe this has a little bit to do too. I've trained with you, Ryan, once. It was at Milford at the camp in September, right after we started. So it was like very early on. I'm not even counting that. We've actually never like trained together. Everything's been remote. You've been with me at the games twice. You've been with me at Wadapalooza. Anyway, point is like, we don't do a lot of like, hey, I'm going to hold your hand through this piece. And then we get to the games and I'm sitting there like, hey, what do you think about this, and this? He's like, is that what you think you're comfortable with? Almost like it's back on me. So then I got to buy into what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I believe that. That's what we're doing. Great. And I go, in my case, it was teams. I go tell the team, hey, this is kind of what we're thinking we're going to do. Versus like somebody getting there, like, all right, guys, here's the strategy. Here's the thing. Here's what we're going to do. And then I see Instagram videos of coaches like over their athlete's shoulder, like waiting on them to break. Right? Oh, you break right here. It's like, bro, back up. Let the guy do what he's doing.
They may as well just get a gigantic double D titty, fake titty that the athlete can just nuzzle up on. Like if you're going to manage them at that level, you may as well just bring them into your bosom and feed them straight from your fake titty.
You know what though? To me, you guys ever heard the expression eyewash?
I'm going to say no because I want you to explain it to the group.
Okay. You know, it's like an old school sports saying. It's like, you know, you try to overshow when the coach is around, or like over emotionalize something when people are looking or people paying attention.
Yep.
To me, that's like coaches trying to like overact like they're a coach because they know other people around, like looking and watching and observing.
Dude, stop pretending like you're important.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and I've always said that, you know, at a main competition, it's not about the coaches. And I think too many coaches make it about themselves, and they make like this act of dependency on the coach, right? Like they depend on me to be this, like I'm going to carry all their bags and I'm going to do this and do that. You know, I have to be like over their fucking shoulder and screaming the loudest. And like, I look at coaches yelling from the stands, and I used to be the yeller from the stands. And I'm like, guess what? They're not hearing one fucking thing you're saying, no matter how loud you think you are. Like,
dude, it's so crazy out there.
They don't hear a fucking thing. Like, you can't hear anything out there on a competition floor. And it's like, you know, so I think it's eyewash. I think a lot of it is eyewash. And I also think a lot of it is just like, you know, being young and not really understanding how important it is for the athletes to not be dependent upon the coach in those competition settings, because you're just giving them more autonomy, and the more autonomy that these competitors have, the better they'll be able to regulate on and off the field to compete better and be better. Like when I was a competitor, whether it's for basketball or CrossFit, like I didn't need a coach telling me fucking shit. I don't need anybody telling me how to warm up. I don't need anybody telling me what to do pre, post, after game. Like I know what I have to do. Like, I was always the athlete that's like, get the fuck away from me. Let me compete. We'll talk about it if something goes wrong. If I need your advice or opinion, I'll ask and get something. Like I need me. I need me to fucking perform. Right. And
Dude,
I think
my
like
favorite, sorry to cut you off, but
Nope.
exactly what you're saying. My favorite thing, dude, it came down to the max lift. Like when we were doing the max lift at the games this year, what am I going to tell you? You've been back squatting for the last probably decade of your life, building up in percentages, building up in waves, maxing out. What am I going to tell you from the sideline? Like add 5 or 10 pounds. I have no idea how
How it's
heavy
feeling.
that realistically felt. What the fuck are you doing as a coach? Sitting there flashing hands, yelling numbers. Just back up and let the athletes do the work. Like it's honestly embarrassing that you think you're that important in the overall grand scheme of things.
I remember one time though that backfired. I was working with one master athlete, and I swear this master's athlete, like they won gold and a couple times, but sometimes the stress of the environment got to them mentally, and it was a back squat, like a heavy triple back squat. And we gave him a range what to stay in, right? And it's like the final lift, and I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm adding that shit up, and I'm like, that's a 50-pound jump from the last one that you barely fucking got.
Let's go. Let's
I'm
go.
like, oh my God. And I'm like,
Ride the lightning.
I'm like, 50 pounds heavier? And like, yeah, 5 pounds. I'm like, that's 50. Like, no, 5. I'm like, all right. First back squat, bar fucking drops to the ground, right? You're like, what the fuck? I'm like, you put 50 pounds on the bar, bro. I'm like, you barely got, they're like, oh, I didn't know it was 50 pounds.
Yeah, but that
And I'm
would,
like,
that's not the athlete. Like, that's just not passing second grade and understanding how to count on your fingers.
Yeah, that's an athlete
That's
mistake
not,
of like,
bro,
yeah,
that-
that's
I
not
was
being
like-
like, hey, I think I can realistically hit this.
Yeah.
That to me is a different, still
That was it.
stupid, but a different conversation.
did I ever tell you guys my Annie Sakamoto story? She tells all the time at the games. So
story time with Jay.
it was at Carson. And at this point, like I was right in front of, it was in a soccer field at Carson, and she was competing, and it was a heavy squat clean, right? And she fucking catches that squat clean. You know, she has great form. She sits at the bottom. That bar just fucking sits on her, right? And she's just sitting there, like busting her ass to stand up. I look around, and everybody's fucking screaming, and all the cameras are on Annie, and everyone's gonna see if she can stand up with it. And she catches me in the stands, and I do this.
Dump it.
And right when I did that, she was like, and she just fucking dropped it. And she's like, why did you tell me to drop the fucking bar? I go, because you're about to blow your O-ring out on the fucking camera. You weren't going to lift that fucking weight. I was like, you're about to blow something out, and you were not standing up with that bar. Like, no
Yeah.
matter how much people are yelling. Like, it just wasn't, you were sitting in that bottom squat for like a good 20 seconds. Like, it wasn't, you weren't coming up.
Just
Oh,
like
God.
eighth inch bounces, like trying to like come up out of the hole.
And it was just like we laugh about, her and I laugh about that moment so much still. It's hilarious.
That's
But that's a
awesome.
calming thing. So like I'm the opposite. And again, some people feed off of like that yelling and energy and looking out and seeing Ryan super hype. If I don't know if I've ever done it. If I ever catch Ryan in the stands, I promise you he's doing this. Dead still.
Yeah,
and for
dude.
me,
And what am
I
I going
want
to
to
do?
see that. If I see him hyped, the building's on fire. Get out. We're done working out. On the back squat, though, do you remember we were in a warm up area, which is an absolute zoo? There's like, we're in a secondary warm up area, which is basically like a small bathroom. And there's 2 squat racks that are heavy enough. The girls go first and the guys just grab it and go. And so you're only getting a few lifts, remember? And everybody's coach is in there and they're like, got their numbers out right. And you and I didn't even talk numbers. You just came over and like almost it would literally just like, hey, keep your hips under the bar. If they get behind you, you're going to get spit out. Like super simple. And then I was like, okay, next one, knee shot straight over, kept the hips and exploded. You said that was way speedier. Just think about the hips. And then I get out there on the floor. The only thing I thought about, not adrenaline, not hyped it. It was like, if I can keep my hips over this bar, under this bar, I'm going to stand it up. The only thing I thought about, smashed it, and it was great. Very calming, like, hey, this is what we're thinking about, not the chaos of like what's going on.
I mean, I love the fact that you took that. Again, now we're just going to go back to shitting on people because like you're how many days into the games, you're how many events in, and it's like, coaches, what are you doing working off of like training percentages,
Dude,
right?
that's not
Are
even
you
remotely
not
close.
thinking about fatigue and stress and all of these things? Who gives a shit what their actual percentage is? Look at the speed, look at how they're moving the bar, like think outside of the normal paradigm of what you're writing and training and learn how to coach the fucking athlete in the heat of the moment.
I'm sorry to break us up,
Mr.
boys. That's
Owen
Owen Clark.
That's
Owen
Owen
Clark
Clark?
in the
Yeah.
flesh. Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
He said he's going to get more caffeine.
I love it. Love it.
I love it.
But for me, it was important because in that environment, that very small thing, I was hyper focused on that, not all the other stuff and weight change. I mean, we had 5 minutes. It's so chaotic. But in that moment, all I thought about was, dude, if I can just keep my knees forward and my hips underneath the bar, I'm strong. And so it gave me something to like really hyper focus on, which to me is the best thing in the world. Like, don't talk to me about numbers and this and that. But I was focused on the squat. Anyway, that was cool.
I
But
don't
that's
think coaches understand how much chaos they actually introduce into their athlete in those situations.
That shouldn't be there.
Singular focus. You can only think about so much shit. You're worried about call times, getting in the corral. Do I have my belt? Do I have my sleeves? Do I have all the shit that I need? And then coaches are like, all right, well, like, what are you going to do? In round 5, you need to break. We're going to drop the chest of bars from 15 to 12.
yeah.
You can't
What do
think
you
about
do?
that.
That's the art of being a great coach. It's knowing what to say and when to say it, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to relying on and that's what really makes great coaches great coaches. And you look at other sports, baseball, basketball, football, whatever, right? If your energy is crazy, then obviously you're not going to be calming for the athletes when they need to be calm, right? It's like they're going to feed off that energy. And I had this basketball coach when I was in high school who was insane. And like we were like tie the game up, and he'd be go crazy and screaming and yelling. And when we should be trying to calm down, 'cause it's like 30 seconds left this tie game, we got to execute plays, right? And I think so many coaches don't understand the value of A, their energy and how that portrays the athletes, and then B, the art of saying the right thing at the right time to the right person, right? And that's huge in coaching.
Do you think that gets forced? Do you think coaches feel the need to do that and the pressure of like, I gotta say this thing and I'm gonna really lead them with this lasting
Yeah,
thought?
I think inexperienced coaches do, and I say that because I have, right? And I don't think anybody's above that. We all do. But when I was younger and I'd start watching who I thought would be great coaches and listening to great coaches, everything they said was very simple, very minimal, very calming. Like I remember one time, like I did a athlete camp. This one was like Rogue versus Again Faster, and I was there with Coach Bergener, and I was just walking around in Bergener's pocket, listening to the way he would cue all these games athletes back then, like with the snatch and clean jerk, and it was just like so simple, right? And that was kind of like my first exposure. It was like one fucking word, one cue, one thing, and then like good energy and excitement for them, and then move on once they did it, right? There's no need to like have to over talking doesn't give you authority, but many coaches think it does, right? What truly gives you authority is an actionable item that works. And the athlete's like, holy shit, like, fuck, that was great, right? Like if I walk up to Tyler and I'm like, hey, fucking chicken wings and fucking french fries, and you hit a snatch PR, you're like, holy cow, this guy's fucking amazing. He needs just what I say, right? It's like, look at that. But that's an art form, and it's an art form that comes with experience and a constant passion to keep learning as a coach to be better and to coach better, right? And you realize that it's not about saying more, not about saying big words, it's about saying less in a way that's received by the person.
I think from an athlete standpoint, Ryan, I talked about it just 100 times. The reason I did want that, like real simple, small, I don't need a whole rah-rah, not big on all, was because I just felt so prepared for it. So I could think of, to your point about like the fit chest bar dropping from 15 to 12, I can handle all that kind of stuff. For me, the back squat's a good example. It's like the only thing I wanted to think about was that one cue. because I knew everything else. I was strong enough. I didn't have to guess at the weight. I knew I was going to hit these numbers. Adrenaline's going to give you a spike anyway. But if I can keep my hip, and the one I missed, which was 500 pounds, by the way, internet. Yep, missed it. And had I had another attempt, I feel very confident I could have got it. But I didn't keep my hips under. And my brace was weird. And my hips got back. And then I got spit out the back.
It is
point is, like, I
pounds,
was prepared and confident. It's 500 pounds.
It is 500
My dad's like,
pounds.
My dad's like, why didn't you stand that up, son? I was like, Dad, it was heavy. It was very, very heavy. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. So, I think Travis Mash put up a post the other day that I fucking loved. It was something like, something talk about like when you lift fucking heavy and, your technique's not going to be fucking great. It's a max fucking lift. Like, applaud yourself for it. Can't expect it to be a fucking Picasso. Like, it was something on those lines. And I was like, yeah, too many people are worried about things they shouldn't be.
It was very heavy.
No, but something, Ty, to your point in the warm-up area, seeing all these athletes doing a workout before they're actually doing the workout. I think that's something coaches need to think about. If your athlete is the athlete who just can't stop warming up, in my opinion, mentally they're not prepared to be on the big floor, and you need to pull them back. They're masking some sort of anxiety in the warm-up, right? So like, stop letting your athletes go do this like pre-workout before they actually go onto the floor. Like, if you are going to guide them in that regard to help get them primed and not go off kind of the rails with that. That's something where I do think it's important to coach. If you have a newer athlete to the game, maybe this is their first time to the show, you actually have to coach them a little bit more and pull them back, because they're going to go way deep thinking that they're not prepared and like not fully understanding the timeline of warm-up area to 3, 2, 1
second
go.
warm-up, and then the corral.
Yeah.
There's an art to that whole timing.
Yeah. All right. I think we can keep going deep on like warm-ups and athlete protocols and what you got to watch out for. But guys, we hope you enjoyed the show. As always, big shout out to Candice. She's an amazing person. Coach RX podcast channel. Check that out. If you're listening on the Coach RX podcast channel, Tyler Cooke, Classic Coo, man of many dreams, aspirations, and desires, is here on the Conquer Athlete podcast, ready to make some noise. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more rants, cheers, and information that will set your pants on fire.
Shout out Matthew Ramos.
No,
whatever his name was.
Matthew Anthony.
Matthew Anthony. Shout out Matthew Anthony. If you're listening, shoot us a message. We'll talk. See you, boys.
Send your application to CrossFit 1124.
Yes, we are hiring.